Florida Senator Marco Rubio joins us now. Good morning to you, Senator.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. How would this be possible? Could we reroute some of those and go through the Panama Canal to Texas or to Florida?
I think in the short term, the answer is yes. I think in the long term, the answer is one of the things we really should be working on strategically, and that is bringing more of these production places, the places where they make things, out of Asia, out of China.
Exactly.
And either to the United States if possible, but if not, we have plenty of countries in this hemisphere that could use jobs. Imagine if we had a bunch of factories that couldn't be in America but can be in Honduras or in Guatemala or in Haiti or the Dominican Republic. Right. It would create jobs. People wouldn't have to leave those countries. They wouldn't have to turn themselves over to these trafficking networks that abuse on them as they bring them to the United States, and it would bring products a lot closer to the United States in terms of getting it into ports like Florida, where we have multiple ports in Tampa and Fort Lauderdale and Miami and up in Jacksonville that are open, and others that are open and ready to go. But let me point one thing out that hasn't been said. A lot of this that's happening in California is the state of California's fault. They have a law that their laws basically say if you're a trucker, an independent trucker, most truckers are independent, you can't work in California. You have to be an employee of a company. Yeah. So an independent trucker, why would an independent trucker that lives in Texas become an employee of a company in California and then pay the exorbitant income taxes in California for every day they work shipping in California? They've decided, look, I'm not putting up with that hassle. So that's one of the big problems here too.
Yeah, and the other one is they've got union workers at the docks and they didn't work overnight. So it's like, yeah, you know what? The president had to talk the union people into working overnight to get all the stuff off the ships. But Senator, according to the White House, this is a really good problem because there is such a backlog. That means demand is high. And, you know, stop complaining about the tragedy of the treadmill that is delayed. This is a sign that the economy is on fire thanks to Joe Biden.
Well, I hope they continue to say that because they're going to suffer devastating losses in the next election, not just for being oblivious and incompetent, but for insulting our intelligence. Look, these people, the reason why they can't take this thing head on is because California is basically the model woke state. Okay? Every crazy left-wing idea in America is being implemented or has been implemented in California. So if you want to look at what they want to turn America into, look at what California state government has done. And that's their base. They raise a lot of money out of there. They have a lot of activism out of there. Joe Biden can't take these people on. That's the base of the Democratic Party. Those are the people that knock on doors and send $50 checks in the mail to their candidates or online to their candidates. They can't take these people on. No matter how crazy they get, they have to come up with some ridiculous excuse for why it's not a problem.
Right, and it is ridiculous. So one point, they just came out with numbers. Already 1.7 million illegals have already crossed through our southern border. 540,000 are staying. They say they send 60% back. I doubt that. Congressman Tony Gonzalez says it gets worse than that. Some of these people coming across, terrorists. Listen.
I just met with the foreign minister of Panama. She goes, you know, there's over 100,000 migrants coming through Panama on their way to the United States as we speak. And she goes, funny you asked that, Tony, because in Panama, we do biometrics, and we have apprehended 52 people that have been associated with Al-Qaeda.
Wow. Your reaction?
Well, I heard the same thing a few weeks ago from the foreign minister of Panama, so it's pretty consistent. What happens is this: Panama's kind of like the choke point after the Darien Gap, crossing over from South America. Migrants, some of whom have been living in these other countries, Chile, Colombia, for many years, now have decided, I'm going to make a move and move towards the United States. Panama is the first country on that route that actually stops people and sort of assesses who they are and takes biometrics and so forth. And so you're going to catch people. And they're coming from all over the world. I mean, we're talking about tens of thousands of people that are en route as we speak across multiple countries in the Western Hemisphere, but all going through there, and they'd all have to come through Panama as they as they try to come to the United States. That's the first country that actually stops people and assesses who they are, and the administration knows it, and there's tremendous frustration. In fact, I've heard that they have threatened, this administration, the Biden administration, has threatened government leaders in Panama not to complain too much, to stop talking about this, to stop making a big deal out of it, or there's going to be consequences for our country's relationship. They've told them to stay quiet and stop talking about it.
That's unacceptable. It's just anti-American. It's not even a bad policy. It's anti-American
policy. And not
to
mention that MS-13 comes from El Salvador. Thank you so much for being on with us, Senator.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.